Yep. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Twist Johnson. So grab your substance or your drinks, or stay sober minded, if you will. And with that being said, let's start the show. But if you're feeling my vibe, like, share, and subscribe. You can find all my handles down at the description below. And before we get into this pretty young lady in the screen with me, we got the current events that nobody asked for. So today's story is going to be on Route 21 online and in store is having its own weekly sale. You can catch it for 30 to 80% off any price and any purchase. You can buy any item, any accessory, and get the second one off 50% off. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. You can also buy two items and you can get the third for free with any purchase over $50. So if you buy two shirts, you get one for free if you spend over $50. Get that right. So bring your family, bring your friends, or go on the shopping spree on your own. Tell them I sent you. That's Route 21. If you got one near you, stop at the store, get you some drip. Okay, that's the current events that nobody asked for. And we're going to get into the young lady inside the screen with me, which is a treat. Tell us who you are, where you're from, a little bit about yourself.
Jazmine representing the Bronx. That's where I'm from, born and raised. I'm just a mother who works. I work, and I'm a mother. That's what I do. That's pretty much it.
You are. That's a beautiful thing. All right, there you have it. So, we're gonna do the pour out or pour up. Who you pouring out for? Who you pouring up for?
I'm gonna pour up for myself, and I'm gonna pour up for all the mothers out there, and I'm gonna pour up also for all the dads out there too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna switch that around. We're gonna pour up for all the dads and all the stand-up men. Screw that. I feel like a lot of women we always get bigged up all day, every day, and not for nothing, but half of these women out here don't even deserve don't even deserve the bigging up. So you know what, fellas, this is for you. Or you stand up men who take care of your business, take care of your family. You have single fathers. Let's not forget about these single fathers out here that are making it happen and are doing an even better job than some of these women. Because these women love to talk about how I'm a mother and a father. Well, guess what? There's men out here that are mothers and fathers too. So this one's
hmm
for y'all.
hmm This one's for y'all. Let's pour up for them. I got my cup. She can sipping over there. There
I
you
got
have it.
my
Okay.
few.
Yeah, I want to take. All right. Let's jump into it. All right, you from the Bronx, New York. I'm from Harlem, New York. We have familiarity for those of y'all who don't know us out there. And Jazz, she actually came on the show when we was on the Kickback podcast. Shout out to Jay Rogers, and she was on the online segment. So I want to touch a little bit about that over here. You did have some reservations of what online looks like. Knowing today's dating scene, what do you feel like online dating? What is its perks? What is its pros? And then what is this cons?
I want to say there aren't really any perks. I feel like there's more cons than there are pros. My experience with online dating, majority of people that go online to so-called date are not looking to date. They're just looking for a one-night stand. Majority of people that go on these sites are married already. They're looking for somebody to cheat on their spouse with. You have a bunch of pimps that are on these sites that are just looking for a bunch of new prospects. That was my experience when I dabbled in that back then. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really see. It's not for me. It's not for me. I feel like if you're somebody that's looking for something serious, I don't think that I wouldn't recommend online dating. I wouldn't even recommend Christian Mingle. I wouldn't because I mean honestly they're all the same. To be honest, they're all the same, honey. Don't think because
Um,
Christian Mingle and all that. No, baby, they're all the same.
mm-mm. Since we spoke about it before, I mean, it sounds like you have a lot of cons. Since then, I did run into some couples. They are actually married, right? And they met on social media platforms like the Facebook online dating. And there was another one that they met on Tag.
Guess what though?
They've been on one for 4 years. The other one, I think they were together for like seven. So big ups to them. So I don't know if that's like a part of the 1% or the rest of us that's out there, but It's
Remember
possible.
where they from though. It's all about where you from.
Right,
Now, if you from a little
right.
town in
And
Idaho
we did touch on that before too.
where population is,
Right.
100, 150, yeah, something like online dating might be a lot more prevalent to you. But if you out here in the city, you know what I'm saying, where you have access to any and everything, I wouldn't recommend it. I just think maybe you should, I don't know, go to a bar or something and just, I don't know, have a conversation with somebody. I don't
I wanted to touch on that a little bit on this platform. It's not ideal for some of us. Some of us we prefer to be behind the screen. Myself, I prefer the one-to-one interaction physically. I want to get the game on. But some of us we want to premeditate on what we need to say and take 5 hours to say a sentence. Whatever works for you. Before we get into others, let's jump into some more relationship conversations. Yourself. We're not throwing your age out there, but you've been around, so you can help some people out there. When a relationship is on the ice, right? What is a healthy way that you could kind of reset and rekindle the flame before a breakup?
communication. Like communication is top. It's number one. If y'all can't communicate and just break down what it is that you guys are feeling, and y'all can't talk clearly and just don't beat around the bush. Just be honest with not only yourself, because you have to be honest with yourself first. But if y'all can't be honest with each other, you guys can't have this deep, you know, open conversations and just let out how you guys really feel without the other person, feeling offended, or both of y'all holding back because you don't want to make the other person mad or offended. It's not gonna work. Communication is key. I feel like communication is key with everything, but especially with relationships. Communication is number one. If you don't have that, baby, bless your heart. Leave it in God's hands.
Right. I feel like communication definitely goes a long way. In the past, like I didn't care for communication, or maybe I thought what how I communicated was enough. Communication happens to be number one. After communication, it needs to be listening. Not listen to what you want to listen to and make whatever the communication from the person was okay. You have to actually listen and execute what the person's actually saying. Because if you listen, someone is actually telling you exactly what's wrong with the situation. And that gives you the opportunity to do something about it. But if you're not actively listening to the communication that the person is telling you, then you've failed to deliver what the person is asking for. So communication is great. Another one is excellent chemistry. However, you guys lack compatibility. Do you feel like that hurts the relationship, or can you build compatibility? And how? What are some tips that you can give some young ladies, young men out there?
First of all, you have to be open. You just have to be open, period. And at the end of the day, you have to be open to accept all, these different flaws and these different, opinions, and just everybody was raised a certain way. Everybody has different things that it's you just have to be open. If you're not going to be open, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. That's the only thing I have to say.
Right.
If, find that out as time goes by, and like I said, once again, with communication, you'll find that out,
Mm-hmm.
and you both will figure out.
Right.
When it comes to
Facts.
that.
I got a question. No, nobody really likes to hear the question, but we're going to have the question, and I feel like you are a person that to deliver this, right? So we always hear that you should be able to talk to your partner about anything, but should you talk to your partner about everything?
Not 100%, no. You should not tell your partner everything. Both of you guys should not at least, I would say at least 80%. You should at least leave 15 to 20%, maybe even 30% here.
What would that 30 to 20% be?
I was just about to say that depending on what it is, because if you are a low key pedophile, or you are low key like to have sex with animals, that's something I don't think you
Oh
should be
God.
doing.
No, no, yeah, I think I mean, you might want to disclose that if it came out on the news.
I'm not really referring to that.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I would say. Like when I think about the question, I think that couples should be able to talk about anything. I too feel like they shouldn't talk about everything. You need some type of secrecy. And there's a such thing as being too transparent and oversharing. I feel like oversharing can damage the relationship depending on what you're oversharing. And a lot of people neglect that. Nobody wants to hear, oh, no, my partner should tell me everything. I don't think that's necessarily true because I don't believe everyone can handle everything. Let's talk about yesteryear. As we get mature, we don't think about this no more, but body counts is a thing. People get intimidated by body counts. How many people have you slept with over time? I've had this conversation off air with a few people. What would be another one we could throw out there? Like for example, how often you've cheated or how many relationships that you are unfaithful in. That would make someone develop some curiosities and insecurity of like if we get into an argument, I wonder what they're going to do with me. I feel like the only things that you guys should be talking about anything about is when it comes to you guys, when it comes to the stability of you guys' relationship, how to balance and keep y'all healthy. I don't think necessarily I should dwell on what was going on like with you as an individual, as long as it's something that's going to be healthy towards what you guys got going on. Now, a lot of people will argue that and be like, "Well, your partner's supposed to be a best friend." I don't believe that partners could be best friends authentically because you can't tell your best friend everything without them feeling emotionally about it. Can you tell anybody you dealing with that like some dude you thought that he actually was kind of like handsome or something without him having an emotional reaction? Like, what the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? You
I
can't tell them that, or like certain conversations you have with your homegirls or homeboys, you can't have with your significant other because it might resonate with them differently. So when I hear conversations like that, like you should be able to tell your partner like everything, I don't think that's necessarily true, but you should be open to having communication about anything. As far as like being best friends, oh, we could be besties, but I don't know. Um, last one
I'm
on the relationship side. You want to go? You want to take a stab at it again? Go.
relationship triggers. Um, People who don't know how to communicate. That's one of my relationship triggers. My one of my, I'm gonna put it like this: people that are damaged, that are unhealed, and continue to continuously jump from relationship to relationship. That's a huge top relationship trigger.
Hmm.
If you have childhood wounds that you still holding on to and past, relationships that you've been in, you're holding on to certain, things that you went through and they did to you. You should not be trying to talk to nobody. You should not be trying to get in no type of relationship, period. But of course, the majority of people that do get in relationships are people who fall in this category, unfortunately. And then they wonder why their relationships don't go nowhere. Then you wonder why you're jumping from relationship to relationship. Okay, once you break up and go through a divorce, that jump into another relationship is gonna help you heal. No, it's not. You're lying to yourself.
No, that
You're
that
setting
that's
yourself up for either.
um that this sparked the question is how much time is accurate time of a time frame to heal, or is there a time frame of healing from a relationship?
It depends. It depends. It depends on the person, on the type of work, the work that they're putting in to heal. You have to be real with yourself. You have to be real with yourself, number one, first and foremost. And for everybody, it's different. Everybody holding on to things differently. You know what I'm saying?
I have some statistics here from couplestherapy.com, and it states that depending on how long the relationship lasts is going to depend on the healing process. Commonly, anybody who is in a relationship from 1 to 3 years, it typically takes up to 6 months to a year to heal. However, anyone who was in a committed relationship, marriage, and it ended in divorce will typically take up to, if it was 5 to 10 years, to 1 to 3 years of healing. Do you agree with this? I
I
feel
don't
that.
agree because, like I
Yeah,
agree because, like I said, everybody is different. And at the end of the day, just because a person is telling you, like, yeah, it took me a year to heal, Yeah, it took me 6 months to heal. Okay, you have a lot of people that say they're healed. You have a lot of people that say that they're changed, and they're not. They're not. They might have changed a little bit. They might have healed a little bit, but you're not 100%. There's still remnants of, the past hurt.
Hmm.
There's still remnants of your past ways. So I don't agree on that. I just think that there a lot of people just say whatever. They just throw whatever out there. I really don't take a lot of people's word for it. I think people just say whatever sounds cute.
Hmm.
Um, everybody's different. I wouldn't take that. I really wouldn't take it. I would take it with a grain of salt.
I would say that it all depends on the person, and it all depends on how often they took time for themselves to heal. A lot of people, they don't take the time, like you said, the process to heal. They just jump into another situation because that's the way that they cope. The situation, however, is if you jump into situation to situation, is like you bringing the burdens and the unfulfilledness from the previous relationship into the next. I feel from experience that the longer that you are in a relationship, the longer it does take for you to heal. I've had friends who they were in a like 2 year relationship. It took just as much time for them to heal as well. And I was not really sure like why it was affecting them the way that it affected them. But you don't know until you know. And that's what I'm learning. Um the last one on the relationship side is, when do you decide to let go?
I mean, the first thing is, and when I'm noticing you're not making me a priority, I've spoken to you about it more than one time, and you still haven't done anything to rectify the situation. Once you're not making me a priority, once I feel disrespected, we can't work on it as far as like, I'm talking to you about it and still nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's time to go.
I agree. All right, we're gonna get into some music stuff. ICEY, that's what you was, right? ICEY. So, um, let's talk about like what made you start being a music artist at the time. Like, what years was that you were doing music? What kind of music were you into?
Well, first and foremost, I've always been into music since I was a little girl. Like, I've always loved music ever since I can remember, like 4, 5, 6 years old. Something about hip hop, like I discovered hip hop when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. I discovered it through Video Music Box, Channel 31, when it was on Channel 31. I'll never forget, of course, you see a plethora of videos. Anybody that knows Video Music Box knows that's a plethora of videos. And two of the main videos that really, like, just like, I guess changed my life was Queen Latifah's Ladies First and Salt and Pepper's Push It. And I don't know, I never forget, I became so like obsessed with it. And my love for hip hop just like grew even more and more. And I will, the more I watched the show, the more I just educated myself when it came to hip hop and hip hop artists. And then as time went by, I'm just like, damn, I always like to write. I've always been a writer. Like, I've always loved to write. I always loved to read. And once I hit a certain age, like I would say maybe like 10, 11 years old, I'm like, you know what? I think I could do this. And I wrote my first rhyme at 11. When I wrote that rhyme and I spit it for mad people, everybody was just like, nah, you got something there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the feeling that I got from writing these rhymes. And I just kept on, kept on, kept on, kept on, kept on, kept on, and I was spitting for certain people, and he was just like, "Damn, the fuck?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
like they was just like, "Nah, this." And I just kept on to the point where I was just like, "Nah, I like this. Like, I really want to do this." Like, that was just like a passion of mine, but it was also like a way of me like venting. It was like a way I could release. It was a way that I felt like, I could just be
Mm-hmm.
me and not hold back.
Right.
My love for music, my love for hip hop, and also as a my becoming a I guess a rapper back
Mhm.
then.
So you got to rub elbows with some of like battle raps and under what we would consider underground from other places, but from New York is nostalgic for us. Give us some of the people that you got to rub elbows with that like we might be familiar with, no matter what age group we're in.
So it's very few. Well, lot of people don't know about Party Artie. Party Artie is definitely one of the, I guess, in my mind, one of the biggest. I guess when it comes to hip hop, one of the biggest like artists or elites out there that I got to rub elbows with. But I grew up in the same project as him. I knew Party Artie before I even knew what rap was or before I even thought about rapping. And once I started rapping, he really pushed me. Like he really, a lot of times I doubted myself so much, a lot. Um, but he was just like, nah. And at the time when I was rapping, I was taking it further as far as like recording and stuff. He became interested in me being a part of his crew. He had a crew called Get Dirty that he introduced me to the rest of the rappers. Not only just the guys and Get Dirty, even other guys that he had worked with, like Digging in the Crates crew, Showbiz and AG. For the old schoolers that know, yeah, he just kept pushing me, and he was just like, after a while, he was like, "Yo, we need a girl in our crew, Get Dirty,"
Right.
and they ended up opening with open arms. Just he brought me along, and he was my mentor, you could say. He was the only mentor I really had. I've dealt with other people as far as like quote unquote producers and rappers and people starting their own labels. But those were not really good experiences. They was just on some like trying to have sex with me type thing, and I wasn't with that. That's one thing about me. I was like, yeah, I love rap. I want to rap, but no, baby, I'm not. No, y'all not about to sit here run a train on me for a
Mm,
fucking verse, so I can get a verse. Like,
right. Like,
but with them, it was nothing like that. It was nothing
mm,
like that. But yeah. Oh, and I also back in them times, I don't know anybody that remembers Puff Daddy when he used to have auditions for
speaking of
making the
band.
band. I went to one of those auditions. I slept outside and all that. There was an opportunity. It was Hard Pierre. I never forget. He was there and he had an interest in me. We had exchanged numbers and stuff, but nothing ever panned out after that. Like
Mm,
we exchanged numbers. He called me one time. I missed the call. Then I called him again, and then from there I just kept calling him, leaving messages of people telling me, "Yeah, we'll tell him you called, and he'll call you back." But nothing ever panned out.
mm.
But
It
it could
make
have, I guess, right?
I mean, it happens. It all depends on what your drive is and what motivation you have towards any dream that you are trying to go. Like sleeping to the next day, that definitely shows a lot of drive as far as like the aspirations of where you were trying to go at that time. For those of y'all who don't know, because I know Party Artie, not know him, but I've heard of him. For people who are on the outskirts of the states, that's not from New York, Party Artie is a legend in his right inside of battle rap. Smack URL, if you ever heard of that. This was back when they were still doing DVD era. If you need someone to refer it to, I can leave a link if I can find the material. He battled Murder Mook on 125th Street in front of the State Building. It was the iconic. They moved it over to the projects. That's St. Nicholas, right across the street from it. If you know, you know. So it was Party Artie versus Murder Mook. There was a lot of other artists around that time that battled during that shooting. But that's Party Artie. Unfortunately, I rest in peace. I think he's passed away since then. Rest in
Wade,
peace to him.
yep,
Yeah. Right.
great guy
So
too.
you see the young man in the camera. He's in here. So that's your son. Motherhood.
Oh, you see
That's
him?
what you into now. Yeah, we saw him. We saw him. He's doing his thing. Nice haircut. Motherhood. You're a new mom. How has that been for you?
It's been quite a roller coaster. It's been quite a ride. Still, it still hasn't hit me that I'm a mom yet. Like it's crazy because for those, I mean, give a quick synopsis on my story on my pregnancy journey. I never knew I was pregnant. Like I was pregnant with this child. I had no clue. It wasn't until I started getting pains in my abdomen area around September 8th. As went by, it was just getting worse and worse. So in my mind, I'm just like, this has to be a bladder infection. Eventually, around September 13th of 2023, I couldn't take the pain no more. I was just like, I can't do this. And I was starting a new job. This was what day was this? This was like a Wednesday or something like that. And I was starting a new job that Saturday. So I'm just like, nah, I gotta go to the emergency room. And the reason why so long to go to the emergency room was because I didn't have no health. I didn't have no health insurance. The bills that they get hit with, and if you don't pay it within a certain time frame, forget it. But eventually, I couldn't take the pain no more, so I went into the emergency room. I wanted some meds. Like, I wanted the pain to go away. I'm just like, hurry up, give me these meds, give me my medication, so I can go on about my business.
Right.
Like, oh, wait, you gotta wait. I'm just like, damn. Like, I need some medication. And then eventually, I went to go get a sonogram, and they was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, this is outside my window is noisy. My bad.
It's New York.
But
We understand.
I go
Right.
to get a sonogram, and then hold on, let this go by, cause my bad, y'all.
You gentlemen, if you're not familiar with
I
New
live in a
York, the
noisy
game don't
area.
stop. You hear shots, you hear ambulance, you hear
Yeah, I
kids
live in
cursing. Like, that's New York. That's New York.
noisy as hell in my area. But anyway, so
Okay.
I go get a sonogram, and it's just like, yeah, you know, you're 4 weeks pregnant, and you're about to give birth. I'm like, wait, what? Next thing I know, I'm pushing out a baby, and that's how we got here. That's how I became a mother.
Mm. So, being a new mom, and congratulations, that's a blessing. For people who don't have kids, you hear people that have kids say, don't have kids and don't be in a rush. Now that you're a mom and you have a child now, what would you tell someone who doesn't have kids? Don't have kids or take your time? What information do you have?
And
Hmm.
I took my time. Those I took my time. Um, I'm 42. Well, I'm turning 42 next month, but I had my kid when I was 40, going on 41. So
Hmm.
at that point, after like once I hit like 38 years old, I was just like, people, like that whole thought of, are you gonna have kids? It was just like, you know what? I'll leave it in God's hands. I remember when I was in my 30s, I used to give myself these time frames as to when I wanted to have my kids. First it was like 32. Once I hit 30, it was like, all right, I'm gonna get myself to 32. Then after 32, you know what? 34. Then after 34, all right, 36. After 36, and I was like, you know what? I'll leave it in God's hands. Whatever happens,
Leave it in
happens.
God.
But once I hit a certain age, I personally didn't feel like I was gonna have a kid.
Hmm.
So I just completely like just threw it out my mind, completely just erased it. And then next thing I know, this one is here.
I feel like it's
Mhm.
different territory for people who have kids and they want kids. I guess like the mental health piece behind that is they feel discouraged. They get depressed because they feel like they can't conceive. Some guys, they're not as fertile as they would want to be. Some women, as women get older, we know that like you won't be able, it's higher risk for you to produce, especially once you hit the 40s. So it's always a blessing in disguise. For people who don't want kids and they don't have kids, kudos. But for the people who have kids, they usually just giving that information as, oh no, please don't have the kids, just wait. They become angry, aggressive, stressed. Like they say you lose a lot of sleep.
I feel like there's more people that do have kids that get offended when there's people that are like, I don't want no kids. Well, I don't have no kids, and I'm happy. I feel like there's
Mm.
more people that with kids that get offended by that.
I could see that. I definitely can. I mean, yeah, I get offended because a person like me, I want kids, but I'm actually, leaving it to God. So when people who have kids like saying they don't want them, it's almost offensive. But the thing is, like I said, it's territory. Territory is that like a person who has kids versus a person who doesn't is that you don't know what that struggle is. People who have kids forgot what the struggle is when they don't have them. It's different responsibilities, different takes in life. When I watch people with kids, there are a lot of things that I don't wish for, and I'm glad that I don't have it. It's the freedom to get up and do what you want, the freedom to kind of move how you want, and you don't always have to necessarily worry about another human being. And I also see a lot of the single parents lose sleep, lose socialization because they can't get out as much as they would like. And anything that they want to do, they have to prioritize the children or the kids. Like, let me see if I can get a babysitter. Relationships is hard. So if you're not with your baby mother or baby father and you have infants, it can be difficult to go out unless you're trying to bring the baby with you or like they understand, yo, we gotta have a date inside the crib because I ain't got a babysitter. Like I see those struggles and be like, yeah, I don't know if I want that. Homework and school. It's one thing like for a person who doesn't have kids. Like I would like that unconditional love feeling. They say that kids love you regardless, no matter your flaws, no matter where you at in life. They look at you as a hero, and they probably love you more than your parents do. That's from what I've seen. And that's why, like, someone who wants kids will crave that. The mental health piece about it.
Yeah,
So
it's that I feel like
I keep getting this water is so good right now. um, like the mental health. Like you said, you a single mom, right? So how do you deal with your mental health? How do you sustain socialization? How do you deal with stress? Any times you feeling depressed? Like how do you navigate through life now?
I am single. However, his dad is very much involved. His dad does help me. He does his part. Still as females we deal with postpartum and we become what's the word? I can't get the word right now. Overstimulated. There we go. Just like the
Okay.
babies, they get overstimulated. We get overstimulated as well. And at times where it's just like, bro, I need a break. Like for example, with my baby, he's extremely attached to me. Like attached to me, and there's times when it's just like you feel like, oh my God, like my child is the type that he's on, like literally on me 24/7. It's like I'm not used to that. And I tend to feel guilty because I get frustrated because it's like, yo, can you just like let me breathe, like get off me, like, but I don't want to be like that with my baby. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. One thing about with his dad, like his dad does help me out. He does do his part. If I need a break, he's very much involved. He does take time to like take him out and do things with him by themselves, just them two by themselves, so I can have free time to myself. It's crazy because as much as I may need a break, um, when my son is out, I'm like I can't really like chill out and relax because I'm like worried about him.
Mhm.
Like I know his dad is good. Like his dad is really great. But I still worry. I still can't really like bring myself to like relax and just kick back. I wonder what they're doing. What's going on? And then I'll be calling his dad, like checking, and if his father's not answering right at that moment, I'm like freaking out even more. So yeah, as far as like postpartum, I do have my days where yeah, that shit really do be it messes with me. But I have my good days, but I have days where it messes with me. And one thing about me, I love my sleep. Before I had my kid, I loved my sleep. I love my sleep. And just now with him, it's like I'm still trying to get adjusted to the whole like, kids, these babies don't understand the concept of sleeping. They really don't. A lot of times it's like they'll be sleepy as hell and tired as hell and cranky, but they don't want to go to sleep because it's like I don't know, like they just don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm tired, I'm sleepy, but I don't want to go to sleep because it's like they don't get it, and or they'll just they'll fall asleep and they'll wake up like because they don't get it, they don't understand. So that tends to mess with their sleep pattern, and of course it's gonna mess with your sleep pattern. And if you're somebody like me who likes to sleep, and I'm the type of person that I was never really a morning person. I was a night owl. I would stay up all night and then go to sleep in the morning type thing. Now with my baby, it's the complete opposite. You have to go to sleep when they're ready to go to sleep because otherwise you're not going to get any sleep. But I still kind of
Mhm.
struggle with that because, like I said, when it comes to baby, my child, for example, could go to sleep at 6:59 a.m. and he's up at 7 a.m. on the dot, and then he's up and he's energized, but he's still sleepy, and he's still doing everything in his power to stay up. So that's a challenge because he starts wilding out. The reason why he's wilding out is because he's sleepy, but doesn't want to go to sleep. So that's something to take into consideration if you're a single person.
We got moms, we got the music artist journey, and a little bit about relationships, right? So before we ended, what I forgot to ask was why did you stop music? What made you take another direction?
Mostly because it wasn't paying my bills. Like for a long time, I was pursuing music and I wanted to make it. I was trying to make it. I was in the like I wanted to make it, but then once I hit a certain age, and it was just like life was life, and I was just like, yeah, this is cute, but this ain't paying my bills. I'm not gonna be that person that doing everything in my power to make it, and I'm homeless. I'm living in the street. I'm house hopping. I just couldn't do that. So after a while, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna put this down for I'm not gonna say goodbye completely to it. I'm just gonna put it to rest for the meantime and see what happens. And as time went by and I got older, I'm just like, I'm good on the beat. I'm good on rapping. Especially now, they're making any and everybody famous, specifically people who are not talented, and I'm good on it. Like I'm not really interested in rapping anymore. I don't want to be compared to Cardi B, because she's Hispanic, I'm Hispanic. So no, 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 no. I write rhymes, baby. I write.
Over
Don't
here, I'm
compare
both
me
in
to those
the
people. At the end of the day, like I feel like when it comes to rapping and hip hop, the novelty is gone. I feel like the novelty is gone because they lowered the bar so much. The excitement, like the thrill of it, it's all gone. There's no satisfaction in it. And like I said, any and everybody is a rapper, but you're not a rapper. It's like back in the day, back in my time, you had to know how to fucking rap. Like your shit had to be top notch. Nowadays, you can rap about a bottle cap, and as long as you look good, they'll blow you up. You'll be lit, and people really will be. And I'm not even gonna say people will be vouching for you because a lot of these artists have bots. They pay for bots and these fake fans. Like they don't even have real fans.
Mhm.
So I'm good on all that. I'm alright.
My take in music was kind of pretty much the same stuff. I enjoyed my time. I felt like I was just one of those artists that met his peak, and I just I didn't feel like I was gonna be in this longevity. Some people they wait decades to blow up and wait for that cosign. I didn't have that time. I work a 9 to 5, and like my money is precious to me. I like things, and kudos to those people out there who get to it. Independent artists who can drop a bag on recording studios and having those managers and ARs in that team. I just didn't have it. I'm a young kid. I'm broke. I just had a vision, and unfortunately, I was never put in the right hands, which is okay. But I found other things that I was good at and I'm talented at, and I'm grateful to God for that. So since then, there are kids out there who have those same struggles, whether it was last decade or this decade. It all depends on your drive, your motivation, but also cosign. What you're saying for this day and age, you can just put out anything and it's catchy and it's a vibe and boom. Well, others might feel like, well, our generation was like granddad now. Like nobody wants to hear that. Biggie and Tupac and Big Pun is not the top five. You got somebody named Young Crawler, Big Spat, or Lil Drink. That's it. I mean, I don't know.
Did you hear about what happened at Summer Jam with Method Man and Redman, and they were so
Oh
turned
yeah,
off
yeah.
because they were getting booed. The reason why they were getting booed is because majority of people that were there, they're not from that generation. They know
Right,
nothing about them or their music. So in their mind, it's like, these old school ass fucking rappers. I don't want to hear this shit,
right, right.
and that turned them off. And they was just
This
like,
is
you know
like the
what?
vocals
We're
favorite
never
my
performing at Summer.
right.
Yeah,
That's a great example of it's not time to go. It's just it's not your time. So you gotta remember your audience. Method Man and Redman audience, like right now, they're like 35 plus. They're not 15 to 30. You gotta know what audience you're talking about. Summer Jam is not their stage. Their stage would be more like I guess the parents on a BET show, or like going to a concert that one of the rappers are throwing a tour and they come out and you're catering to that age group. So I knew that it's getting to that time. So why don't you just tell us anything that you might want someone to know out there, like, or positive affirmation. I'll close us out.
be yourself. Be yourself. Please be yourself. Don't hold back. Just so you don't piss other people off because you're being who you are. Who gives a rat's ass? Like, just live your life, please. At the end of the day, everybody else is gonna live theirs. Everybody else is gonna do what makes them happy, whether it offends you, it disrespects you, it diminishes you. It doesn't matter. Just be you and keep God first. That's all I can say. I know it's not easy. I know it ain't easy in this world. I know. You have family
Amen.
members that hate you just because you are who you are. They're not like them.
Mhm.
And to be honest, and people could you could say what you want to say about them and fuck them too. But at the end of the day, they live their lives. Live yours.
Mhm.
And that's the self love is very important. The love of God, of course, and self love is very that if you are struggling with that.
Amen. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jazz, aka Icy, if you guys know, you know. Thank you. This was a pleasure. Definitely a treat to have you up. I'm sure that everyone who catches this episode is going to enjoy you. And all the information that you provided today, tips to help somebody out there in life. So, with that being said, that concludes another episode of Let's Talk About It. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Spotify, YouTube, and all surrounding platforms that support podcasts. I'll leave ICEY, aka Jazz's information down in the description below, along with the handles where you can follow the show. With that being said, I'll see y'all till next time. Peace.